Hello YouTube, this is the Plastic Commando coming to you from deep behind enemy lines. Today we are talking about Axis Allies WW1 1914, and specifically we'll be talking about the use of trucks in gameplay. And as I pan the camera around just to kind of give you a visual of the trucks that I'll be using as part of my house rules for this game. I want to let you know that these trucks are available on shapeways.com. All right. And specifically, if you go to shapeways.com, the store, or the sculptor in this case, is Table Game Whiz. And each of these trucks, they come on a sprue of 6, so you get 6 trucks with a purchase. And on last I checked, they're still listed for $7.71, so a little more than $1 a truck, so it's not too bad. The trucks themselves are they're fairly detailed. They're basically just a visual of a truck, more or less. I'm not certain exactly that maybe it's based on a specific model of truck used in World War I. The website Shapeways Table Game Whiz indicates that these trucks are based off a 1917 version of the Pierce Arrow truck. But pictures I've seen of the Pierce Arrow truck is a little bit smaller, in my opinion. Looks to be more of I guess what by today's standards could be an extended SUV, if you would. But to me, these look like your typical cargo trucks, troop trucks that you would certainly recognize in theaters of war. Based on pictures that I've seen of vehicles that were used in World War I, to me this looks more like a comparison to the 1917 Liberty truck manufactured by the United States. Because of the size of the vehicle, in particular the canvas back and the open front, open cab. And so, it doesn't matter if it's really based upon the Pierce Arrow or the Liberty truck. Certainly trucks were utilized in World War I in various sizes. And if indeed this is based on really more so the Liberty truck, the Liberty truck did make a presence in World War I, but it was obviously after the United States had entered the war, and it was actually one of the best built trucks anyway, because the U.S. had more years to experiment on manufacturing process, durability, test trials in preparation for going to war. So the truck itself was a very durable truck, but nevertheless, I'm not going to certainly worry about what the truck this is based upon, because it does resemble trucks that certainly you have seen in pictures of World War I that were utilized as well. So the sole purpose of the trucks, as far as a house rule to be used in this game, are for infantry transport. Nothing more, nothing less. And the reason, though, of introducing the truck in this game, as far as I'm concerned, it would be to allow infantry to move an additional space, to give them more of a mobility as opposed to simply marching. And certainly that's what the truck was utilized for. Now, obviously these are not meant to be the style of mechanized machines, trucks that certainly was present in World War II, but nevertheless, gasoline-powered engines certainly move faster than one's feet on the battlefield. So having said that, based upon the house rule, which I'm looking at in introducing this game, the truck itself will have a movement of 2 spaces. There is no attack value. There is no defense value, similar to a transport. And like the transport that really transports units, whether it be infantry, artillery, etc. The truck, though, is specifically going to be able to move infantry and infantry only. Okay. And if I did not state earlier, the truck itself will be able to transport only 1 infantry up to 2 spaces. Again, we're talking about the size of a truck, I guess, versus a sea transport. So you know, we're not going to be able to pack in, say, 2 infantry units in 1 truck. But having said that, I mean, with the house rule, you'll be able to purchase, you know, practically any number of trucks you would like, depending on your level of IPC and money. And you could certainly maneuver quite a few troops, again, with the right number of trucks up to 2 spaces. So the cost value of the truck will be 4 IPC. And I think that is representative, certainly, of the capacity, the military use of being able to move infantry, and certainly enhance the ability of the infantry to get into an attack position, as well as being able to perhaps move through friendly territory that would allow the drop off of an infantry unit and to conquer, say, an empty territory, if you will. So, unlike Axis Allies Global, there's no blitzing of vehicles. We're not going to go 2 spaces and conquer 2 territories. If indeed the truck was maneuvered into an unoccupied territory, an enemy territory, since it is dropping off an infantry unit, then that territory could be conquered. The use of a truck can be in a combat situation. As indicated, there is no attack, no defense, but similar to the transport, in a combat situation, if no other of your units are present, for example, at the end of combat, such as like infantry, artillery, etc., then all the trucks that you would have in that particular territory would be destroyed. But again, similar to the transport in game rules, the truck will need to be chosen last as a casualty, which will be similar to the transport rule. So in other words, you wouldn't be able to buy, say, 5 trucks and then utilize those to knock off as casualties. In fact, they would actually be expensive purchases just for the use of casualties to block, say, being able to keep infantry or artillery, for example. So again, these trucks will have to be the last ditch effort. But again, if all is left after the enemy has beaten you and you've got trucks only in your territory, then they will be destroyed accordingly, just as the transport rule in the out-of-box game set. So, okay, well, just real quick, I think certainly with the house rule, which I've talked about, it's self-explanatory. But let's just say, for example, that we've got the 2 trucks here in Russia, and we want to move a unit over to, let's say, Karelia. We're going to move a unit up to Karelia, okay? Then obviously what we'll do then is we'll take 1 truck, certainly one infantry unit. We'll maneuver 2 spaces, 2 game spaces. Get turned around here, and we'll move again 1 unit up to Karelia, okay? Just a simple movement. So what that does is it does give you the ability, as indicated earlier, to be able to advance your troops in a much quicker fashion. And of course, that would be the extent and movement of that unit. If, for example, you decided to move, you can maneuver the truck and the infantry and decide that's it, drop off the infantry, then certainly you're not going to be able to then pick up, say, we'll go ahead and move this infantry here. Let's say in Moscow we had an additional infantry unit that was already present. We're not going to be able to then unload the moved infantry and then pick up this second unit and say take him to Karelia, for example. The trucks can move independently by themselves up to 2 spaces. You don't need to transport someone, again, similar to a transport at sea. I think these house rules are just, they're simplistic, but again, the nature of it is just to maneuver troops. And again, if you offload a troop in a particular territory, you can then not pick up, another unit and continue on, if you will. So that's really the basic rule, which I'm looking at in the use of trucks. I think it's certainly going to be effective in perhaps making an end run around, if you will, of maybe territories that might be unguarded and unmanned, and certainly make a difference in maybe not only gaining additional IPC for the game, but maybe linking up, circling around an opposing army, and then linking up with, say, your allies, and then again making a much stronger force. There's a number of possibilities how this house rule, in my opinion, can work. I'm anxious to get this tried out, but I just wanted to give you the basis of the house rule today, and also to kind of give you an idea of these trucks and where you can purchase those at and so forth. And I'll just real quick, I'll show you the detail of this truck. This is of course a German truck, which is been painted and weathered. Again, it's just sort of a basic truck as well. And then lastly, we'll just excuse me, we'll just show you the Austro-Hungarian truck. These are white versatile plastic. They take primer really well, paint really well, and then of course you can, if you want to weather these and stain them to your satisfaction, it's entirely up to you. But they turn out really great. And then of course, what I recommend on any of these, if you do some of the painting and the stain, is to use some Army Painter matte varnish, and it'll take any shine that you would see on these after paint, or even using a shading. It'll take any shine off that would be present, and they look a lot better, and it also seals up everything real nicely as well. So this is it. I just wanted to do a video of the use of trucks in Axis Allies World War I 1914, and I welcome any comments you may have, any thoughts, as well as if any of you guys are using trucks for this game. And if you've not subscribed, I encourage you to do so, and we will be back at some point with another video. You guys take care. This is the Plastic Commando, over and out.